Hollow Knight released back in 2017, and 8 months later, it had sold 500,000 copies. This game was only on PC though, so when it eventually hit the consoles in 2018, the game got more popular, eventually leading to over 2.8 million copies sold. With a lot of players loving this game and how they can't wait for the sequel, Hollow Knight Silksong, I had to check out what is so great about Hollow Knight. While I was playing through it, I had heard that a lot of people got lost playing this game, and I told myself that it can't be that hard to get lost here. Must be some rookie gamers talking. I'm a pro gamer. This game has nothing on me. As soon as I got my first piece of the map, I instantly got lost. Yeah, I told you I'm a pro gamer. Okay, but eventually you can get something that pinpoints where you are in the map. However, even with that feature, I didn't think about the amount of times you would have to go back and forth between places just because you got a new ability that lets you gain access to an area you couldn't access before. If you forget about that area, then you will get lost in this game. Hollow Knight nailed down the metroidvania experience for those that are fans of this genre. See what I did there? Nailed? Get it, Hollow Knight fans? Like, with the nail? Okay, that was a bad joke. Don't close the video. I underestimated how much there is to explore here. This game is one massive labyrinth filled with hidden areas, various enemies, and platforming challenges that will test your skills as a gamer. Now when I say test your skills, this game will test it. The platforming challenges throughout 90% of the game isn't really where you'll have your skills tested, even though I've taken unnecessary damage from random spikes or acidic water in the environment. The enemies you'll face is where the difficulty will get you. At the start, it's not so bad. You'll see your regular flying and walking around the environment enemies that are simple to kill, but as you get deeper, you'll find more aggressive enemies. Or just enemies that are so annoying to kill that it slightly triggers me. Like, can that flying enemy just get his ass down here so I can kill it? But nope. It rather just throw its annoying lance at me and somehow spawn another lance. Another one that pisses me off is this one chunky boy. See that shield? That's all I have to say. The combat mechanics are all about timing and positioning yourself correctly. Once I learned how a specific enemy works, then it's game over for them. I just had to time my jumps, dashes, sword and other attacks with the enemy's movement. Although I still hate that chunky boy. I feel like the devs just really wanted a casual enemy on the level of an annoying boss. And well, they bloody achieved it with that stupid shield. Speaking about the bosses though, they are on another level of hatred to vent about. Each of these bosses will make you use all the abilities you have gathered so far. They all have their own gimmicks or individual moves that make them stand out from each other. If you just go in there spamming attacks and not thinking about when to dodge, you will end up dying. I'd say the first few bosses aren't too difficult, but the others might make people rage quit. And here I thought that this game would be perfect on the Switch because it looked chill, but those bosses might cause someone to break their Switch in half. Also, healing in this game is painful against bosses. The healing mechanic is that as long as you have that white meter filled up, then you just hold a button to heal yourself. Sounds pretty simple, but you have to wait until your character finishes its animation to actually heal yourself, meaning that you cannot move while healing. This is why I call this a pain, because the bosses will not stand and wait for you to heal. You'll have to find the best time and position to get a heal in. Otherwise, you're gonna have to do a no-hit run challenge against a boss. I mean, you can take a few hits, but majority of the bosses I've fought are basically don't get hit run challenges. The health system is probably another thing that adds on to the difficulty of this game. Well, it's more like a life system than a health system. In other games, there's times where you can just about survive an attack from an enemy, where you're just left with that sliver of health, and all of a sudden you have faith in the gods of RNG because you didn't die in that moment. In Hollow Knight, getting hit instantly kills you, and depending on how many masks you have left, well, good luck on the rest of the fight. No god of RNG will save you when you take a hit. That's when you probably complain about the game being too hard, but that's more of a skill issue than the game's issue. Casual players will struggle against this life problem, just like how life is. a struggle. I do kind of like the whole kill your ghost thing to get back your lost currency and fix your broken white bar feature. It's got that same Dark Souls thing of retrieving your souls, but you gotta fight for it. Even though fighting your ghost isn't really hard, it can make a small difference if your ghost manages to hit you before fighting the boss that previously killed you. There have been a couple times when I know that I could not defeat a boss because I feel like I'm missing an ability somewhere. Guess I gotta just take the L and look elsewhere in the vast caves of Hollow Nest. Hollow Nest is the name of this giant cave system that I thought I explored all 100%. But I forgot or walked past specific areas that would have helped me 1000%. I completely either forgot or walked past this house throughout my time playing this game, and it would have definitely helped me for the past boss fights. The reason why it would have helped me is because of these equipable items, charms. Charms gives you additional perks that can change up the way you play. I already mentioned one of them, which allows you to see where you are on the map. There's a bunch of other useful ones that I didn't try because I didn't explore this area. But even with the few I had, they actually helped with some fights. Speaking about Hollow Nest, I never really mentioned the story, and that's because it's really vague to me. In fact, from my perspective, I didn't really understand the story. All I know is that many bugs went down Hollow Nest in search of a fallen kingdom. That's what I can gather from the small drip feed of information. And when I say bugs, I mean that every NPC, including yourself, is a bug. There's a bunch of lore scattered all over the place, and from the journal, which is just an enemy hit list. But they give you some info about the enemies you've killed. The story isn't really given to you in a straightforward way. It's just like Dark Souls when it comes to story, which is good for the people that love to make theories out of it. However, for someone like me that can't be bothered to think of the theories and prefer the story to be fed to me straight away, then it's not that great. Yes, I'm a dumb guy, alright, don't hate on me. You do have to appreciate the art here though. From the lush greens of the Green Path to the purple mines of Crystal Peak, all of these areas give you context as to what happened in Hollow Nest. My favorite area to visit is the City of Tears. Great name for the place, by the way. I just like how the blue tones are used here, along with the everlasting rain, and just that one area of sitting at the bench while the rain pours on the glass, sheltering you from the rain. That was a cool moment. Plus, the original soundtrack that's used here perfectly fits the mood and setting of this area. Which reminds me, Hollow Knight's original soundtrack is pretty good. Originally, my main reason to play Hollow Knight was because I heard the OST is good, and it met my expectations. I didn't set my expectations too high or low, I just wanted to hear it. To me, if a game has a nice OST that I can fall asleep to, then it's already goated. And there's quite a bit to choose from here. To be honest, there's a part of me that wants to run the game again and just listen to the OST. Fun fact that I didn't know until I searched up this game is that this was a Kickstarter. If you don't know what that means, then it's basically a crowd-funded project come to life. To think that a bunch of people somewhere decided to make this game come to reality sounds pretty awesome to me. Moving around in this game was a smooth and clean experience, coupled with great art, direction, music, and lore so deep that I didn't know about until I had to look up on YouTube. I don't think I have anything bad to say about this game. This game was a blast, and now I can't wait for Silksong to come. Okay, but this area though can go F itself out of existence. Thank you for watching this video. One of the main reasons why I wanted to play Hollow Knight was because the Ori games kept getting compared to Hollow Knight. I love Ori for its visuals, music, and story, so I had to check out Hollow Knight. They might be the same in terms of genre, but everything else that both games have to offer is completely different. Anyways, since you made it this far, be sure to give the video a like. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That's it from me, and I shall see you later.